guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be sharing you a pretty big, healthy grocery or pantry item haul from Azure Standard. So if you have never heard of Azure Standard, I feel like it's become a pretty popular way to source healthy grocery items or household items. And I have been purchasing them for, I think, like a little over a year now. It's basically like an online, kind of like a health food store. It's technically like a co-op. So how it works is you can place an order once a month, and you go to pick it up at like a certain drop point in your area. So you can go on their website, you can find if there's a drop point close to you. For the longest time, I didn't have one like anywhere near me, so I wasn't able to shop through them. But about a year ago, one of them popped up, so I was able to start utilizing them. And I use it mostly for like buying things in bulk to stock my pantry with like healthy foods, because I am, for the most part, like a from scratch cook. If you guys are new around here, first off, welcome. My name is Becca. I'm a registered dietitian. I'm obviously very passionate about nutrition. I'm also equally as passionate about intuitive eating, and I'm really definitely passionate about cooking from scratch, cooking with real whole food. Most of the time, there's definitely room for balance, but stocking my pantry, stocking my fridge with healthy food for my family to eat is something that is very, very important to me. So this is one of the ways that we source our healthy food. Now, Azure has like almost anything, it seems. Like you can buy so much through them, but like I said, I typically use it more for like bulk pantry items and stocking up on bulk things, because to ship a lot of bulk stuff that's super heavy can obviously be crazy expensive. So this is one way for me to really cut down on shipping and buy some of those more really expensive bulk items that I can't just like run to the store and get. A quick little funny story, a few years ago when I first started getting into like this, idea of kind of like stocking your pantry and keeping bulk amounts of these like healthy foods on hand so that you can cook from scratch and I bought a 50-pound bag of flour, which I bought the same exact flour this month, and I'll show you, but I bought this, organic all-purpose flour from this milling company, and I had no idea what I was doing. So I just like went online to the milling company and I ordered the flour, and I was like, wow, people really do this? Like, this is really expensive. The shipping cost more than the 50-pound bag of flour, but I just didn't know. I was just like, oh man, okay, I guess this is what we're doing now. Had no idea. So I'm obviously a lot more savvy of a shopper now, because this is one of the ways that I have this is how I like to stock my pantry. So I've learned that there's a lot of ways around that, and you don't have to spend astronomical shipping. And this is one of the ways that I work myself around that problem now. Okay, so I think we should just jump in and I'll share with you guys what I got for this month. So first I'm going to start with, I got a bunch of, or some Jovial products. So first I got a 10-pound bag of the Jovial. This is the all-purpose einkorn flour. Now you can buy this, like the Whole Foods near me does carry it. You can also buy it, you can buy it online, but I like this 10-pound bag. I know that Azure carries it, which is why I like to get it from there, because obviously if you're buying in bulk, it always helps bring the cost down per a little bit. So this is their einkorn flour. So einkorn, I should do like a whole video on einkorn, but it's the only wheat that hasn't been hybridized, which means it hasn't, like the chromosomes haven't been messed with. It hasn't been, made more like drought resistant or disease tolerant. It just quite literally has not been messed with. It's the same wheat today in the fields is the same wheat that was there thousands of years ago. It just hasn't been messed with at all. So it ends up being higher in protein. It's also lower in gluten. If you have a hard time tolerating gluten, I don't, but I just prefer to use this flour. We do a lot of sourdough here in my house. I do sourdough most things, but we do also just use straight up flour in some recipes, and I prefer to use einkorn if possible. So love that. It also just has like a really like rich, kind of like a buttery flavor. It's kind of like a yellow flour, and it's just really, really good. We especially love it in like the Dutch babies when we make those for breakfast. I have a video here on my channel about that. Anyway, so we got big old big old bag of the einkorn flour, and then I stocked up. I got several of the jovial einkorn pasta. It's just regular old box pasta that you throw in boiling water. We eat pasta probably once a week at night for dinner because it's just something that's easy. Add it with some, we basically do like a bolognese, so grass-fed ground beef, red sauce, you know, roast some kind of vegetable, and there we go. That's an easy, healthy, well-rounded dinner. And again, going back to if we're going to be eating wheat that's not soured, this is my choice. This is my ideal. Does that mean that we don't eat like white pasta? Like, no, we definitely do. But this is like my go-to, and I also just love the taste. It has like a very rich taste, and this is their whole wheat, so it is definitely a little bit more of like that nutty flavor. Okay, I also picked up a big jar of just extra virgin cold pressed olive oil. This is definitely a kitchen staple for me, so I just figured I would get a big one through Azure. Now this is their like store brand, so pretty affordable, and the ingredients are just extra virgin olive oil. So love that. Always need olive oil. And then I also got the Azure Market. This is just the raw organic apple cider vinegar. We use apple cider vinegar mostly for like if I make bone broth, or I like it in salad dressings. Like I just feel like I feel like everybody needs this in their kitchen for odds and ends. And I've been out for a little bit, so I just ordered one through them, and it's in a glass bottle, which is nice. Okay, I ordered a couple of bulk spices. So I got a big bag of just organic parsley flakes. When it comes to spices, it makes the most sense to buy them in bulk. So if you are like new to from scratch cooking, or you're just starting to just cook a little bit more in general, like you're gonna want a lot of dried spices in your arsenal. Fresh herbs are amazing. They are always going to add so much flavor and depth, and really just like brighten up any dish. But like dried seasonings are where it's at, because you can always have them on hand. You don't have to chop them. Like you definitely want a really good stock or collection, I should say, of spices. But it's really expensive to buy them over and over again from the store, especially if you're cooking a lot and you're going through them. So, you know, buy one from the store, and then from there on out, just refill them with like buy the spice in bulk and then refill them. You can also just get like little matching jars or whatever from off of Amazon or something. And that would be even cheaper. But so this is parsley. I love cooking with fresh parsley, but again, I like to have pretty much dried everything on hand that I typically like to use. And so I got that, and then I also got a bag of their organic garlic powder as well, because obviously garlic, I feel like, you know, I'm always using garlic powder in almost everything I make. Speaking of garlic, I also got a big bag of just the Azure organic garlic. So the past 2 years, the past 2 falls, I'm like, I'm growing garlic. I'm doing it. I like order the special garlic that's made for growing garlic online, and then I never do it. I don't know what my problem is. I just don't get it out there. And it's literally like the easiest thing to grow, but I just don't get it out there in time. And then here I am. So I was like, okay, well, I am at least going to, instead of going to the grocery store every other week and having to buy a whole sleeve of garlic, I'm just gonna buy it here because it's gonna be cheaper and it's gonna be organic. So that's what I'm doing. I just need to figure out the best way to store this so that, you know, it stays pretty good, but garlic can definitely be stored long term. So I know I can do that. But anyway, so lots and lots of garlic, because I go through garlic. I cook with garlic every single day, and it's definitely a must in the kitchen. And that way I always for a while now, I will have plenty of garlic on hand. Okay, so speaking of having things on hand that I cook with every day, this is a giant bag, 10 pounds of organic yellow onions. So these are what I cook with the most. Every once in a while, you know, I like a red onion, but yellow onions are my go-to. This is what I always buy from the grocery store. So I figured same thing, I'm just going to stock up. I do like to grow onions in the summer, although I don't have the garden space to grow like enough onions for a year, or even like enough onions for like a month, honestly, which maybe that will change this year. Maybe we'll like scale up and do that. But I figured I would just buy them in bulk. So now I've got 10 pounds worth of onions. Again, just have to store them so that they stay good until I can use them. But that is another total kitchen pantry stock staple. Okay, another thing that I like to stock my pantry with, and I guess this is more of a convenience item, but something that we love in this house, and that is ketchup. So this is, it's the natural value organic ketchup that Azure carries, and we got a whole box of it. I don't know how many it came in here. It was a lot, but my kids love ketchup. If I put ketchup on anything, they'll probably eat it. So, you know, we're not shy about the ketchup in this house. But there is one thing that I am picky about when it comes to ketchup. If I'm gonna buy it, you can also make it, which I might start doing that, honestly, because when I saw how much this cost, even though it was cheaper because it was bulk, I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money on ketchup. Anyway, so this is made with organic sugar. It's not made with high fructose corn syrup. If my girls are gonna be eating ketchup all the time, I want them to be eating, you know, I would much rather them be eating real sugar than some kind of corn syrup. So that's something that I just personally look for in ketchup. So this is just tomato concentrate, sugar, vinegar, salt, a little bit of onion powder, and spices. So simple ingredients, that's what I look for in ketchup. So we got a bunch of those. Okay, speaking of tomato products, so this is technically another jovial item, and these are just their organic diced tomatoes, and this, I got 12, so there's 6 in here. I got 2 of these. So I love diced tomatoes for, I use them a lot for chili, but you can also use these to like make your, you could use as a base to make your own tomato sauce. I feel like oftentimes it's used in like crock pot meals. So I always like to have diced tomatoes on hand. I like that these are packed in glass. I'm not against buying the cans. I definitely buy the cans from the grocery store, but glass would be my most ideal option. So I like to buy it in bulk so that I just have it, and then I'm not always like every week like, okay, we need to get diced tomatoes, we need to get diced tomatoes, because it is something that I use a lot. So whenever I find something like that, that comes up multiple times in my recipes, I just want to buy a bulk amount of it so that I save a little bit of money, but then also it's just less that I have to remember every week to buy. Another thing is tomato paste. So again, these are packed in glass. This is the Bio Nature or whatever brand, and there's 12 of these. So this will probably take me a bit to go through. This is another thing that I do use from time to time in recipes, and it's a little bit tougher to get them packed in glass, especially diced tomatoes. So I like to get it from Azure. My pantry's stocked with this for a while, and maybe I'll start making my own ketchup now that I have all this tomato paste. Okay, and then I got a bag of, these are just dried sweet cherries. If I'm gonna eat any kind of dried fruit, these are easily tied for dried mangoes, which you can also get from Azure, but you can also get from Costco, and that's usually where we get ours. But these are, I love dried cherries. They're just so like fat and juicy, and they're just really good. They're my favorite dried fruit. So if I want like, you know, a handful of dried fruit and nuts, like I want it to be cherries. So I got these, and the ingredients are just cherries. A lot of times, if you get dried fruit, they're like coated in oil to kind of keep them from sticking to each other. Which I try and avoid if I can. So I love that it's just strictly cherries in here, and they're so good. And Azure has like so much dried fruit, like any dried fruit you could probably want, I would imagine that they have. Okay, another thing that this is the first time I'm trying this. I got 2 bags of this Nature's Path Organic. This is their Heritage Flakes cereal. So this is a very like plain cereal, but I actually love plain cereal. Like I don't like, even like the very lightly sweet cereal, I usually don't like. I find it too sweet. And I've totally converted Matt. He feels the same way. Like if he, like randomly he would buy like a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch because nostalgia. And he's like, this doesn't even taste good. I'm like, I know. Telling you, healthy cereal is so much more satisfying. And so we don't really ever do cereal for breakfast. We're more of like a hot breakfast. We like to cook in the morning, but Matt and I do love cereal at night before bed. Sometimes it's like a nighttime snack. And buying it in the grocery store, if you're going for like a healthier brand, it's very expensive for like the amount that you actually get. So, and a lot of that has to do with packaging. So anytime you're buying cereal, if it just comes in like a plastic bag like this, instead of a plastic bag inside of a box, that always cuts down the price. This is, you know, more of a bulk amount, so that helps cut down the price too. And so the ingredients here, I want to read them. It's just literally wheat flour, wheat bran, whole wheat meal, cane sugar, whole oat flour, spelt flour, barley flour, whole millet, barley malt, barley malt extract, quinoa, sea salt, honey. So very simple ingredients. There is a little bit of sugar, obviously, but there's no oils added. There's just nothing weird. Like, it's just straight up cereal flakes. And so we always like to have a little bit of cereal. Every once in a while, my oldest daughter asks for like a bowl of cereal. But otherwise we don't eat a ton, but we do like to have some, so I'm excited to try that. Okay, we did get a big, giant 50-pound bag of flour. It's like too heavy for me to lift it up and show you guys, but it's from Central Milling Company, which is where I bought that first bag of flour years ago and paid $1 million for it. But you can get it through Azure, so you're not paying crazy amounts for the shipping. So I love their all-purpose flour. I like to have all-purpose flour on hand for, you know, baking or sourdough stuff. I obviously love my einkorn flour as well. And then I do have, I always have wheat berries on hand to ground like whole wheat flour fresh, which is like my favorite thing to use because it's just the most nutrient dense. It's so flavorful. I have an entire blog post all about the benefits, and I think a YouTube video too, all about the benefits of grinding your own flour fresh. But that being said, I do like to have regular all-purpose flour on hand because fresh ground whole wheat flour just doesn't always work in recipes, or it could, but it's not going to turn out the way that you want if you're looking for something that's like lighter and fluffier. So I do like to have all-purpose flour on hand, and I just buy it in bulk amounts. It's organic, it's unbleached, and we just store it in these big 5-gallon like food safe containers that nothing can get in. They're awesome, and I'll link those down below. But anyway, so big giant bag of flour, and we will be set on all-purpose flour for a long time. Okay, I also got, our fridge is stocked with these. I don't know exactly how many I got, but I just grabbed a few to show you guys. These are the Grazers, they're butter, so salted butter. It's from grass-fed cows, which is going to have much higher levels of omega-3, much higher levels of conjugated linoleic acid, and I try and consume meat and dairy, poultry, all of it, eggs from pastured animals as much as possible, because it does, it's better for the animals, it's better for the environment, it's better for people because the nutrition typically is higher, nutrient density. So I can get grass-fed butter at my local grocery store, and that's typically where I get it. But I did the math, and this is like a little bit cheaper to do it this way. So I ordered a bunch to last us maybe the next month or so until my next Azure order, and we're gonna see how we like it. But I've heard good things about this butter. It's the Sierra Nevada company that makes this, and they are out in Willows, California. So that's where these come from. And then I also got the Big Daddy block of cheese, also from Sierra Nevada. So this is their organic raw milk white cheddar from grass-fed cows. It says aged 120 days. So I can also get, I can get like raw cheddar from a local dairy where we actually get our milk typically, but I can't get one this big. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, that is pretty nice. So because it's always a little bit cheaper when you can buy in bulk, and obviously I'm not paying crazy shipping for this big old hunk of cheese to be shipped to my area. But so I'm trying to get away from buying shredded cheese at all. Like I kind of want to never have to buy shredded cheese again. So my goal is to always have cheese like this on hand, which is why I bought a lot of it. And it literally takes 2 seconds to shred cheese with a cheese grater, which I have. So that is one of my goals, because this is a much higher quality cheese that I would much rather eat over what I can get at the store, and it doesn't have any like additives that are like anti-caking agents or anything like that. So lots and lots of cheese. That should definitely last us a month for all of our cheese needs. Okay, you guys, so that is everything for my Azure standard haul for this month. If you guys enjoyed this video, I would love for you to give it a thumbs up, and also comment down below if you want to see more of these in the future. If you like seeing, the kind of foods that I'm buying to stock our pantry or our fridge. If you want to purchase through Azure Standard, I will leave a link down below for you guys. It's like my referral link. Doesn't cost you anything extra, but it gives me a little bit of kickback for introducing you. And you basically just find your drop point that would be like local to you. And then when it's your delivery day, you just go. The truck, it's like a big Mack truck there with all the food, and it's kind of like it's kind of nice because you like help unload the truck with everybody. It's kind of like a community feel. Everyone obviously there is passionate about like eating real food, and it's just kind of a cool experience. Definitely different than your typical grocery store experience. And so you pick up your order once a month, and that's basically how it works. And everything that we have gotten from there, you know, we've ordered multiple times. We've had a really good experience. If something is ever missing, they've been really good customer service. So I certainly recommend them. We've had a really, like I said, really good experience, and you're able to get really high quality food, especially if you have a hard time sourcing that kind of food around you, then this is a really, really good option. But that is all I have for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below any other videos you would like to see in the future, and if you'd like to definitely see more of these. And thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.